I talked to a student recently at one of our woke college campuses who said she is required in every class to introduce herself and to give her pronouns. Well, I'm Ted Cruz, and my pronoun is kiss my ass.
Well, hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. I tell you what, there's a whole lot of kiss my ass to go around in this world right now. It is, folks, showtime. It has hit the fan. Well, it hit the fan back in March of 2020, officially. In my book, we called it. I don't think it took long for everyone else on the planet after that to realize it as they looked around and saw the world being shut down, locked down, people sitting in their houses banging pots like fucking morons. Yay, we're all locked up and proud of ourselves. Can you believe that stupid shit? Well, folks, that stupid shit was topped by BLM being allowed to be out because they were a bunch of emotional knotheads. And it's continued. Good. I mean, how do you even say the words "it's continued"? So I really felt that we should have just a real heart-to-heart, a real discussion about the way we as free Americans are being treated. Hey there, ooh man, how you doing, buddy? The way we're all being treated, regardless of age, gender, religion, or color. And it's time to call them out on it. I want to start with Delta Airlines sending a memo telling all of their employees that they are to capitalize black and brown, but white will be in lowercase only in their format. They are mirroring the Associated Press guidelines. Well, if they can be proud of being black and brown, so proud that describing your color deserves to be capitalized, then maybe I should be so proud that white should be in all caps, right? Why don't we just do that? I'm one better than you, one up on you. Is that racist? Is that white supremacist? Crazy shit, folks. I think it's a childish game that all these freaks are playing. You know, like this game right here. Everyone, please pay attention. Heart attack. Oh, we'll have more on heart attacks. Heart attack later. I identify as a proud black Asian lesbian, cross-dressing fruitcake, fire hydrant giraffe from planet Jupiter. So I don't have to be quiet, and I'm a protected class now, so I can say whatever I want and get away with it. Does that make any sense? Should everyone have to address me the way I want to be addressed? And they can't forget any of it. Otherwise, it's a hate crime. So they all have to refer to me as Your Highness, the proud black Asian lesbian cross-dressing fruitcake, fire hydrant giraffe from planet Jupiter. If you miss anything on that, then you are a racist, and that's a hate crime. I mean, that's the type of crap they're pushing. Really. I mean, I'm not fucking kidding about these people. At the Emmys, you've heard of that, right? Like Oscars, Emmys, Golden Globe, the Emmys. The absolute filthifyingly disgusting drag queen known as RuPaul, a male who likes to dress up as a woman, has been that way as long as I can remember, actually brought a person, a hellish green goblin, up on stage with it at the Emmy Awards. Why would you bring someone dressed as a hellish green goblin on stage and say, look, here's a fine example of what drag queens do? They are a bunch of perverse, sick freaks. Look it up on the internet. RuPaul, Goblin, Troll, Emmys. EMMY. Look it up. You will puke. It looks like something literally from one of the Hobbit movies. Only it's a real life person. And on top of it all, RuPaul says you should listen to drag queens and go to Drag Queen Story Hour because they have something to teach. Folks, they're showing their true colors. They're wearing their Satanism on their sleeve. They're throwing it in your faces with all their feces. It's exactly who they are. They're not pretending to hide it. They could dress up like something beautiful and pretty, but no, they want to dress up like a fucking satanic goblin. That's where they are at mentally. You think this is getting better? You think so? I don't. It is not going to get better anytime soon. Are you prepared? Up here, are you prepared with the items you need? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine. And this, if you saw a devilish green goblin walking down the street, you might be alarmed. If you saw them walking up your driveway to your front door, you might be alarmed and get your gun. And what if they started beating on your door, demanding you let your children go out to play with this thing? What would you say and do at that point? I'm telling you, folks, they're just going to get worse. I will continue because that's what I do. At Davos, folks, the World Economic Forum is meeting. And there is a creepy, freaky-looking Harvard professor, Naomi Oreskes, whatever. You know, I don't know if professor from Harvard. We know about Harvard now, don't we? That's right. Former Harvard president, gay, plagiarized is the accusation by, I don't know what, 50 different people. She's accused of plagiarizing from everyone. Harvard is a shithole of a college, folks. No longer would anyone, I think, wear a Harvard sweater or baseball hat or t-shirt or drink out of a coffee mug or act like Harvard is anything other than a shithole community college that is way overpriced. So this creepy professor from Harvard, Naomi Oreskes, has basically condemned Twitter X and says it's a toxic place. It almost makes me want to go and start posting on Twitter X. Now, it truly does. I think that Jolene and I should get Twitter fired up because she says it's a toxic place. Now, Professor Naomi Oreskes looks a little masculine to me. I don't know what its gender is, what it's decided it's going to proclaim itself to be. If it sprayed itself green, I might call it a goblin like that other one. Normally, looks wouldn't mean anything to me. I wouldn't give a shit. But these people, folks, their ugly goes to the bone, and it is now shining through their skin. This stupid professor says speech needs to be controlled. Now, why do you need to go to the World Economic Forum to say these things? Why? The World Economic Forum already wants to control our speech. They need a Harvard professor to make it real. That's about as brilliant as having Gretchen, the climate Grinch, going to the World Economic Forum and scolding those old men, telling them they've ruined her life. How dare you? As if anyone gives a shit what little Gretchen, the climate Grinch, says. Maybe she's a climate goblin. I think she should be painted booger green as well. And it continues, folks. We're not done there. No. Hear me out when I say the world is full of absolute, abject, Democrat, DEI, perverted, sick, freak losers. The United Airlines CEO has come out and publicly admitted that they have a diversity, equity, and inclusion quota, which means they're going to start hiring people based on how they look and what orifice they like to put penises in, how many different hair colors they have. You want to know why they're doing this? I covered Delta in the morning, I think, and now it's United Airlines. The reason they're going to do this, folks, you don't know what they're going to do yet. He says this, the CEO says, quote, "We have committed that 50% of the class will be women and people of color." You want to know why they need to do that? Because there's too many white men flying airplanes. They're actually jet planes, but there's too many white guys. Could it be that it's a very difficult and strenuous job and that most women who are pilots wouldn't want it? So they don't take it. They don't try for it. They don't go to school for it. They don't spend the money and effort. It's not their cup of tea. So now we need to force women into the cockpit. Does that turn it into a cunt pit? Old joke. And if you didn't like that one because it was too dirty, wait until you hear and see what the left is going to do to you and your kids and your grandkids and your parents, your cousins, your sisters, your neighbors. What I say, folks, is not offensive. Not in the least. It is nothing compared to what these people will do to children, our country, to us. And I said country. Right? Now, by the way, the CEO who says we have committed that 50% of the class, pilots, folks, will be women and people of color because there's too many white men flying, folks. Here's news to you, Mr. White CEO of United Airlines. You are white, so you should quit and put a black dwarf trans illegal immigrant in your office, in your place, because you are a hypocritical fuckstick. And by the way, fuck United Airlines. I will not be flying them even if they give me a ticket. I do not want to enter a plane and watch someone of an indeterminate gender and pink and green hair step onto the plane and assume control of a flying fuel bomb that is supposed to be for transportation. P.S. Who do you want flying your jet when you travel? Someone who got the job because they have an adequate amount of melanin or a vajayjay? Or do you want competency, regardless of skin color, gender, or political cocksuckery? Additionally, hey, Mr. DEI, what about crazy people? Shouldn't we have deranged, psychologically challenged people with mental disorders like paranoid schizophrenia, masked psychotic disorders, or plain old normophobic hatred for white people? Be sure they take their antipsychotic drugs, load up, then stop suddenly so mass murder can be occurred using your planes. And this was brought up the other night. I think it was by Orlando. I think it was him. That they want to kill travel in the world. Just do DEI to DIE. This is such a great idea, isn't it, from these perverted communist fucks? Unbelievable. They should have political airplanes. There needs to be a conservative, Republican, American. I know, American Airlines. Why don't you make sure that you keep qualified pilots? I don't care if they're men, women, or black. I just want them qualified, not, well, we had to go find more women. Unbelievable, folks. And the crazy just keeps on crazying. It just keeps crazying. Allow me to help. Oh, by the way, it is Taco Tuesday. It's 2 for Tuesday. It's Too Crazy Tuesday. It's Tumultuous Tuesday. It is just unbelievable. As usual, I will give you good news about the fight that is going on. The fight that is going on. I need you guys to understand this one, though. Do you remember that ding dong? It was a U.S. Army person dressing in Ukraine military apparatus. It's a guy who looks like a girl who was talking a bunch of trash and threatening Americans and threatening Ukrainians that they shall not, will not, better not criticize Ukraine or His Eminence Zelensky. You know, this person was wearing a blonde wig that looks like it's Eastern European, basically really bad haircut. Well, it is back. It got in all kinds of trouble for threatening people, but it is back. Ukraine's Sarah Cirillo is now, well, going after Gateway Pundit and others who are criticizing still. Now, Sarah Cirillo, instead of apologizing about Coach Red Pill Gonzalo Lira, the Sarah is blaming his death on a natural cause. Sarah Cirillo is a man pretending to be a woman working for Zelensky. Now, he's saying that an American who was captured for criticizing both Biden and Zelensky while in Ukraine, he was captured, arrested, thrown in prison, tortured, and is now dead. They're saying it's a natural cause. Now, I say if you call a boot in your ass, a boot on your neck, and a lead pipe sticking out of your head natural, then I guess it was a natural death. Bullshit. 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 Yeah, that used to be a nice way to say I don't believe you. I need this to be understood, though. An American. Ukraine's spokesfreak is an American on loan to Ukraine. The freak is a man dressing as a woman trying to look Ukrainian. How fucking perfect for Ukraine to have a drag queen cross-dressing shitheel from the U.S. Pentagon military to serve Zelensky, himself a butt pirate. Or is he a butt darts master? Skinny jeans, light in the loafers, trench tool who made his living servicing men at the bus station bathroom stalls in Kiev before being hired by the CIA. Allegedly. You see, once I said allegedly, it becomes satire. Zero apologies needed for these assholes in Ukraine who have sent 500,000 Ukrainian normal citizens to their deaths to face off against a well-trained, well-armed, well-equipped Russian military that's using modern weapons. And people doubt that shit has hit the fan. When we are being insulted from a third world, the world's most corrupt country, by a tranny. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, indeed. Now, I got one for you. We can't have anyone thinking that the Jim Jones juice is all done causing problems. Guess what? And I want to thank Darcy T for shipping me this information this morning. In Brazil, they have a fitness star, Mila de Jesus. And she had a weight loss journey. dead, died, suspected cardiac arrest. How about that? Once again, folks, women are not like men. They don't just have heart attacks the way we do. Not at age 35. That's not what women are known for, especially when they get in shape, lose weight. That means they're becoming athletes and super athletes. Yep. Jeez. Darcy wrote, one more gone too early. It's not normal, folks. It's not normal. It truly isn't. Joy Reid, she's one of those MS, NBC, CBS. She's one of those mainstream idiots. She is black. And she spent her time bashing Iowa Christians and Iowa white people. Spelled with a capital W, of course. Because Iowa is predominantly white and Christian. And so she decided she was going to bash the shit out of them because they voted for Trump. Yep. See, that's the problem, folks. It's always race. These racists always make it about race. That's all they've got. That's all they've got. Well, wait a minute. I guess it's political also. You guys have heard of Mad Cow Rachel Maddow. Well, she does to me look like a cross between a human and a cow. Just something about her. You would think that she should be chewing her cud. She is MSNBC. And she had a meltdown. She lost it because Trump won in a landslide victory in Iowa. So, Maddow, Mad Cow. And everyone, by the way, is allowed to use my colorful euphemisms and names when referring to these people on any other network. They decided to go into a rant about how fascist Trump is and how fascist you people are, whether you're black or white, as long as you're a Republican, especially if you're a Christian Republican, you're all fascists. They make that accusation while they are working like mad, furiously, running to every state and trying to get Trump taken off of the ballot for the election. While doing that, they simultaneously call Trump, you and me, fascists. Pot calling the kettle black a whole lot? They're not going to get better, folks. They're not going to get smarter. It's not going to happen. It truly isn't. It truly isn't. Now, let's do some international war. Let's head down to the Iranian-Yemenis zone. In Yemen, the Iranian Republican whatever guard, they're super duper hot dudes. They're so-called special forces. They're commanders. They're advisors. In other words, they're officers. They are now on the ground in Yemen directing their troops on how and when and which ships to attack. Now, let me ask you this. If Trump was president, do you think any of this shit would have started? If Trump was president, do you think he would have allowed it to persist so much that we'd be in the situation where a shithole country like Yemen thinks it's safe and a good idea to try and blow up civilian ships and military ships? If Trump were president, how many attacks do you think it would take before he put it into this? Well, what's happened is Biden hasn't done shit for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then he finally does bomb them. But essentially, by being a weak or non-existent leader, Biden has encouraged these people to act and savagely act and come out of their holes in the ground and continue to commit atrocities, attacks, damage, etc. They're so fucking stupid, these Yemenis folks and Iranians, that if they sink ships, if they disrupt commerce, it is going to cause shortages in the white world, just chiding them a little there, and that is going to trickle down to them. Their expenses, their costs will go even higher. Their standard of living will drop even lower. In other words, they're hurting themselves. That's how fucking stupid they are, while thinking they're hurting us. If there are no cars to send to Yemen from the used car market in Europe, then they have no way to travel down in Yemen. You see, they may get the hand-me-downs, but if they keep fucking with everything, there won't be any hand-me-downs for them. And that is how stupid they are. I'm going to finish up my segment, then I want to go to the inner circle. And I have more from you guys, and I have more as well, but I want to cover this story, folks. The Hamas terrorists have televised, put out there, a hostage of theirs, a woman named Noah, or Noe, or I can't pronounce her damn name. Anyway, she's Jewish. She's Israeli. The Hamas terrorists have forced her to break the news, to tell the world, Israel, that 2 of her fellow hostages are dead. Now, I just want to bring this topic up so we can think about it. The comments that followed the article that I read about this, never mind that there's still hostages, never mind that some have died, never mind that they told one of them to bring it up so that supposedly Israel will believe that it's happening. I feel bad for these people. They're being held hostage. I feel bad for Americans being held hostage for committing no crime in Washington, D.C. That fucking sack of shit, Biden, the entire Justice Department, has no room to talk about any country on the planet. They're a bunch of hypocrites and liars, but I digress. The comments following the article and videos of coerced news from a hostage is both fascinating to me and horrifying. I would like you to observe. This is basically what was being discussed in the comments about this girl being forced to talk about dead people. On one side, the comments, people are so cold that they make anti-Jewish statements about the dead Jews. They wish all the hostages dead so that we wouldn't have to hear about it anymore. And they continue to want Israel and Jews exterminated. So they go way, way, way to one side. On the other side, people are so cold that they want all the Hamas terrorists mowed down, drowned in their tunnels, or bombed, period. Then bulldoze all of Gaza and kill all the Muslims at the same time. You know, they don't just want to take out the terrorists. They want to kill everybody. Bulldoze it to the sea. Now, after I watched the hostages taken by the terrorists, right, more footage released of hostages being taken, it's easy to see the personal suffering and death. But I know who is doing the taking. I know who is doing the death. I know who is forcing the suffering, and it is Hamas doing it to Israelis. Now, I have to ask you this. You may not like the Israelis, and I don't care. You can like or dislike who you want. If you want to like Hamas, then you're no friend of humanity. Because unless you are the appropriate color brown like them, and you believe like them, and you're a Muslim like them, they will just as soon kill you as they would a Jew. They'll find a reason to see you as an infidel. So let me ask you this. Do you want Hamas and other terrorist groups in America killing us, taking our sons and daughters hostage, raping wives, raping young women, killing babies, and destroying our nation? Is that what we want? Do you want Israel left in place? Continuing the hatred, though, the attacks against Jews, against Middle East countries, all the mayhem. Or do you think Israel should be destroyed or abandoned or given up? Right? See, some people think that. They think that if Israel gets taken out, then everything will be peaceful again. If Israel is destroyed, do you really think that the jihadis will shut the fuck up? Leave us Americans and Europeans alone and just live happily down there? Right, the answer that leaves humanity in place requires some terrible choices, folks. When you think of the loss of human life that is going to have to occur to solve this problem, take no action. Another terrible choice when you think of the loss of human life that must occur because you've taken no action. So you either take action and there's going to be tremendous loss of life, or you take no action and allow tremendous loss of life to continue. Who are the bad guys? Who is God's fool when it comes to religion? But I just covered for the last half an hour an enormous spectrum of fools. Unfortunately, they're powerful. They have weapons, they have military, they have army, and folks, they're nuts as fuck. Okay, let's do this. Let us go and do the inner circle. All righty, that was a great transition piece that was put together by Mr. T. I hope Mr. T is doing well these days. I hope you are all doing well these days. Mr. Uman, who would we like to start off with? Well, Name Redacted steps up and says they are defining the world to us as they see it. This is more of the new normal. Now, they means the fruitcake leftists. They are currently assigning definitions, procedures, rules, and writing laws governing against any resistance, while at the same time banning supplies and training that they know is the only thing that can stop them. Yes, they do. They know that free speech will stop them. They don't like the fact that I can speak and keep speaking some more. They're going to ultimately silence me at one point. I am prepared for the inevitability. They want to take away your ammunition if they can't take away your guns. The court has already ruled. Courts have ruled that messing with ammunition, trying to stop it, overtax it, overregulate it, is interfering with people's right under the Second Amendment to keep and bear arms, as ammunition and magazines are an integral part of the Second Amendment. There is no end run. We took their ammo. But the government will try. The scumbags will try. How about long-term storage food? You think the government is aware of that out there? Oh, yeah, they are. They're very aware of a lot of things, folks. They want to put an end to it all. All right. Thank you, Name Redacted. The fruitcakes, no. They're trying to silence us, stop us, impair us, label us, get us fired, destroy our lives. They'll keep going. They will. Mr. Uman, who is next? We've got H2, H12, Heidi. And she says, I hate to see the carnage, But the longer they take to finish this war, the worse it gets. They've been going at it ever since I can remember. It seems that they won't settle for anything less than... well, I guess carnage. The Jews have been cultural, social, religious pariahs for centuries, back to the time of Jesus Christos, and then back through history into Egypt, where many think they were the Hyksos. There's all kinds of problems out there, folks. But it's not just the Jews. It's not just the Muslims. It is all that is evil. It is people who are powerful, wealthy, who think they are special, elite, and it's not going to stop. I know that you and many of us hate to see the carnage, but it is on its way. There's no one happier about it than those who are evil, because they think they're going to survive it and that they're going to benefit from it. Zark Muckerberg is getting a lot more attention now than he ever wanted for building his super secret bunker in the island state of Maui. I hope that he realizes everyone's going to know exactly how that thing is built, where it's at, how to get into it, how to stop it, etc. And I really hate to think of that little turd living in Hawaii. Maui is incredibly beautiful. Anyways, thank you very much, Heidi. I do have some discussion about Mr. Trump before we get to the end of this show today. Who is next, Mr. Uman? Name redacted. We could discuss WTF is the ACLU, the ADL, and the Southern Poverty Law Center, SPLC. ADL is Anti-Defamation League, and ACLU is the ACLU. With this Palestine thing, I hear crickets. The ACLU, the ADL, and the SPLC, Anti-Defamation League, was supposed to protect Jews from anti-Semitic destruction, anti-Semitic defamation, right? The Anti-Defamation League. They didn't want Jews being defamed ever again, yet they are absolutely silent. Same with the Southern Poverty Law Center, supposed to protect the weak, the innocent, supposed to stop violence and discrimination. Same with the ACLU. What are these organizations now? Extreme left-wing apologists and protectors of evil. I can't think of a lawsuit anywhere that these people have fought for that was the side of good, the side of America. Their silence is deafening. It's incredible. Just like the feminazis who don't protect women's rights, who don't protect women's sports, women's academics, by allowing men to step in and take their scholarships, their prizes, their awards, their trophies. Oh, and beauty contests too. Women are being deprived of those things that were set aside, especially to reward women. But where are the feminists? Well, some feminists hate them, but they've been told to shut up. Some of the most aggressive feminist lesbians do not like, have an abhorrence for tranny men claiming to be women. It's pretty humorous to me when the left eats the left. Thank you, name redacted. Mr. Uman, who is up next? We have in the question box Barking Wolf Spider. He says, just got to love it when one protected group tries to out-victim another protected group. Oh, you bet. You gotta love that shit. Unbelievable. I mean, shit. Let me give you this right here. You're gonna love this. And Biden's one of the victims out there, by the way. Biden has responded to Trump's big Iowa win. You know what he did? He complained about extreme Make America Great Again Republicans. Why is he complaining about extreme Make America Great Again Republicans? What really is his complaint? In 2020, did extreme Make America Great Again Republicans burn down cities, attack police, try and set Washington, D.C. on fire? No, they didn't do any of those things, or murder, or commit arson, or attack police, nothing. So they have their groups, and they are protecting them, folks. But they want to try and make America Great Again Republicans. What do they think Make America Great Again means? I know it means that the government isn't in charge, that the people are in charge. That's what America is about. The government is restricted, that voting actually matters, and government making decisions unilaterally against the Constitution are stopped. That's why they hate Make America Great Again, because the intent is to truly make America great. And they don't want that. They want America weak, ignorant, stupid, and gay. So, Mr. Biden, bring on your F-16s, buddy. We dare you. I dare you. I'm not going to speak for anyone else other than me. I dare you to show what you really want to do with those F-16s while we have our AR-15s. Thank you, Barking Wolf Spider. Mr. Uman, who is next? And we've got bum-ba-da-dum-bum-bum-chin music. He steps in. He says, how come Joyless Reed can dye her hair blonde and it's not cultural appropriation? Weird, huh? Yeah, Joyless Reed. That's kind of an interesting name. Joyless Reed is a black woman on MSNBC or whatever NBC channel she's on. And she keeps her hair closely cropped. It's very short. And then she also dyes it blonde. In all of the movies, history books, social studies books, political books, I don't remember ever seeing Africans, people of African descent, who grow blonde hair. I wonder what Joy Reid thinks she's doing. I think she is culturally appropriating my hair color. It is not natural. No, it is not. It's not like she's an albino or something special. I think that she should get her head on right and stop trying to be white with a capital W. Is that what's going on here? Is she going to try and bleach her skin white, deny her melanin? I think that's what she's up to. I wonder if she's going to get facial reconstructive surgery to try and look more white with a capital W. And Umhan says, culturally appropriating Karens. Imagine being someone named Joy and actually doing all you can to not bring joy to the world. Imagine living hypocrisy. Imagine living contradiction. That's no way to live, Joy. You should quit your job and do something that can bring joy to the world, like serving McDonald's, Burger King, and Jack in the Box hamburgers. She should get 3 different jobs working at those restaurants and serve hamburgers to people to make them happy. That would bring joy to the world. And I think she would be uniquely qualified and intelligent enough to work at all 3 restaurants at the same time. That's how brilliant I think she is. All right, Mr. Uman, who wants to step up next? And he writes, I was glad to see this headline in the news earlier. The Federal Aviation Administration's diversity push to hire workers with severe intellectual disabilities sparks concern and mockery from politicians and the public. And he says, do Tran test cycles qualify for severely intellectually disabled? Yeah, I tell you what. The aviation industry is very technical. There are time frames. You have to have planes coming and going and not crashing into each other. You need to understand the various runways. You have to be able to think 3 and 4 dimensionally. You have to see time past, time present, time future. There's no place for someone who is intelligence handicapped. I know I made jokes about it earlier, and those people, they absolutely deserve it. They do. I don't think it's fair to bring intellectually disabled people, mentally handicapped people, mentally disturbed people into the airline industry, because if they kill somebody, and they will, how do you think that's going to make them feel? They're probably going to feel really bad when they kill a plane load of pink-haired dildo butt plug monkeys flying in from London. They're going to feel very bad about that. Rainbow dildo butt plug monkey. Remember that freak show, folks, that was supposed to read books to children in London? That is who these people are. All righty. Let's do another one, Mr. Uman. Then I'll jump over on my stuff, and then you guys get some more stuff. Get some more thoughts, predictions, questions, concerns. Get them on here. This is your chance to tell the world and wake them the hell up. Chin Music says, arguing with a commie, a Democrat, is like playing chess with a pigeon. The pigeon swoops in, knocks the pieces over, shits on the board, and then struts around like it won. That really describes them. They actually think they're smart. They think they're intelligent. They think they're bright. They think they're clever. But time after time, folks, this is what happens. Are you ready for this? John F. Kerry, who married, I think, Teresa Heinz of Heinz Ketchup. Talk about a gold digger, or is that a tomato digger? John Kerry, former senator in the United States Senate. John Kerry, former presidential candidate, 2004. John Kerry, who has been the climate czar for Joe Biden. John Kerry's sack of shit got ambushed by a reporter. This is what they call ambushing, folks. Well, someone asked him a hard question. Well, where was John Kerry when this happened? None other than the streets of Davos, Switzerland. And he was outside the World Economic Forum meeting, where they love to talk about climate change and white people and free speech. So I want to tell you what this reporter said to him, that the media wants to call an ambush. So Rebel News reporter Avi Yemeni asked former presidential candidate dipshit Kerry. He says, what's the carbon footprint for these events every single year that you come here to? Do you think it's worth it? And then he said, peasants pay for your crimes? So John Kerry says, that's a stupid question. Well, which question? There were 3 questions there. What's the carbon footprint for these events? Is it worth it? I think those are legitimate questions. Right? They're going to put all that carbon in the air just to fly their rich asses in. But peasants pay for your crimes. In other words, we get taxed for them putting way too much carbon out. So after being told that's a stupid question, the reporter said, nah, is it really? It is more stupid than you traveling here to tell us. And the guy got cut off because one of Kerry's aides assaulted the reporter from Rebel News. And she screamed at him, we're done. I'm starting to wonder why they get to violently push around and hit reporters. Now, unfortunately, the reporter was assaulted before he could really call Kerry a liar or a hypocrite or a thief or a carpetbagger or any number of appropriate terms. Kerry is a sack of shit, and Antifa, BLM, and pro-Palestinian terror supporters know where he and his family live on every continent. John Kerry doesn't realize he is now a target, just like Hillary is a target, just like Joe Biden is a target by the angry left-wing extremists out there. I wonder if the World Economic Forum there in Davos, I wonder if all those rich guys know that the Democrats in America and the socialists in Europe in political positions, I wonder if they know that they have made them targets by creating all of this animosity and hatred in the world. I wonder also if the Davos cretins think that they are immune from being chased down and hunted by these freaks. I guess we will all find out. I tell you, it has truly been one hell of a day, folks. I want you to listen to this and tell me who is correct. Governor Greg Abbott of Texas has deported over 100,000 illegals from Texas into Democrat states and sanctuary cities. Elon Musk says open borders will kill America. Who's correct? I think they're both right. I think Greg Abbott is absolutely right. He's doing the right thing by exporting illegals from Texas to blue states and sanctuary cities to let those people live with their ridiculous belief systems. Go ahead, put them in your house. Hey, you may as well give them your daughter's room. Just put a blanket down on the floor next to your daughter's bed. See how that works out. Not smart. Dumbass Democrats. I tell you what. Okay, Mr. Ooman, let's do some more. Let's have some fun. Who is up next? Mikey G. I was wondering where you were, man. I was wondering why you hadn't said anything. Disease X is coming. Woo! Scare tactics for mail-in voting again. Yes. Mikey G is referring to Disease X, which is the next pandemic. It's one of the meeting topics at Davos in Switzerland. The World Economic Forum wants to start thinking about a pandemic, how to use it. Remember, they practice Hegelian dialect. And someone brought something up today that was really interesting. I hadn't thought of it this way. That the World Economic Forum likes worldwide problems. They want everyone around the world affected. I think it was Craig Hemke, who's a precious metals and mining investor guy. He's got an interesting political slant on things. Anyways, he says, yeah, they always pick something that affects the entire world. That way their answer, their Hegelian dialect answer, gets them the most miles. So an epidemic in, say, France or Russia or Canada doesn't have the same and profound effect that a pandemic has, where every country is affected. That's interesting. Very good. Yeah, mail-in voting for the 2024 election. Democrats are incredibly scared, folks. Incredibly scared. All right. I'm telling you. Ooman says the best part about Disease X is that they don't know what it is, if it's bacterial or viral, but they're already working on a fax for it. Yeah, I think I'll pass. I think I'll pass as well, Ooman. No Jim Jones juice for me. I'll pass on anything that they don't know if it's going to be a virus. They don't know if it's going to be bacteria. hey, maybe a combination cocktail. How about a virus that allows a bacterial infection to take hold? Ooh. Now, I want to give you a little news about Trump. Yes, he won yesterday. Folks, we need someone out there in front, someone to lead. It's not going to be me. They won't let me do it. It's going to be Trump. I think we all need to get behind the guy and keep pushing him as far towards the side of freedom as possible. Now, he came out and he spoke out because the protesters, the pro-terrorist protesters, tried getting into the White House. So Trump criticized the lamestream media. That's what he calls them. And he also said this, quote, free the J6 hostages now. He was speaking to Biden, folks. I'm going to tell you what Trump needs to do. If he wants us to follow him and support him, he needs to do what we need him to do. He needs to win in the election. And I'm going to say this, and I want you to hear me loud and clear. He needs to win at all costs, because if he loses, it will cost us all we have. So let's assume Trump wins day one. What must Trump do to ensure the American people, the good ones, the tax-paying, hardworking, patriotic American people? What must he do day one? He needs to arrest Hunter Biden. Day one, just arrest Hunter. Then he needs to free every January 6th prisoner with a full pardon and apologies for essentially spending 4 years in prison. Then President Trump needs to use his United States presidential power to seize Hunter, Joe's brother. All the Bidens need to have their bank accounts seized. Every last one of them have to have their bank accounts seized because they're loaded with Russian, Chinese, and Ukrainian funds. And Trump should then distribute it to all the January 6th prisoners and their surviving families. I also think Nancy Pelosi needs to have an examination by proper legal authorities. Folks, now here's the deal. I don't want Trump or anyone to make up evidence about the Bidens or the Pelosi's or the Clintons or the Obamas or Merrick Garland or Holden, former Attorney General Eric Holden, or Bob Barr. No making up information. Facts. And go right to court with it. They've done enough wrong, folks, that they can all go to jail. None of this, we're going to let it slide, we're going to let you off. None of that bullshit. Fuck DC and fuck these people. They would screw you over in a heartbeat. Yes, they would. They really would. I saved this story about Twitter, X. It has to do with people's reactions to Trump's win in Iowa. Like the DC Drano says, "Make America Great Again" is back. They impeached Trump twice. They indicted him 4 times. They raided his house with the FBI. They've covered him over, tried burying him with lawsuits. Washington, D.C., every crooked bureaucratic agency and every non-government organization have done everything they can to stop him, arrest him, destroy him, discredit him, remove him, and wipe him out. And take a look at what's going on. The man won huge in Iowa. Byron Donalds, oh, black Republican, says America wants Trump back. And Byron said it's not just Fort Dodge, Iowa. It's all throughout our country. It's time to get America back on track. That was Byron Donalds. Trump pulled off Iowa without having to attend a single televised debate. Can you imagine how much more he would have, folks, if they actually put him in the debates? Leo Terrell said, Trump's win tonight is the largest margin of victory ever in Iowa's history. Joseph Massey says, you know, Trump's Iowa blowout is making the left tremble with fear and rage, and I'm cool with that. I didn't have any doubts, folks. I didn't have any doubts at all. Trump, folks, is who they hate. Trump is who I think we should get behind. The lesser of two evils, or the one chance we have to win some big-ass fights and push this country in the other direction. Some people think he's the lesser of two evils. Some people think he's the savior, and a lot of people think he's something in between. But he's certainly saying the right things. Yeah, he said the same things right in 2016, right? He was like, yeah, I'm going to drain the swamp. Hillary should be in jail. Do you think there's any doubt that those things need to happen? I don't think there's any doubt. All those things need to happen and more. And I'm hoping he takes my advice, which could be your advice, if we all send him that advice, to arrest Hunter, arrest the Bidens, arrest the Clintons, with the evidence that has already been gathered. And also take their damn money. It was illegally gotten. It should be confiscated. As surely as the United States government under Biden seized Russian assets in the billions and hundreds of billions of dollars. Wow. Hey, chance favors the prepared mind. 2024, it is not disappointing me in a bit. I'll see you guys 0 Dark 30 in the morning. Be safe. Be cool. I'll see you soon.